What's going on? After just dealing with the blood demon, Xiao Yan carefully combed through some news about the extraterritorial invasion of the Immortal realm. As he hovered in the skies, he sensed an intensely hot ripple of energy emanating from below, from the Flower Sea world. His eyes narrowed, and he immediately grew vigilant. Whoosh! Whoosh! In the next moment, the glass-like flames within Xiao Yan surged outward. Then, like a provoked wild beast, they emitted low growls, as if alert and wary of something. At this point, all of Xiao Yan's focus was on the immense energy that was sweeping across the distance. The overwhelming wave of power made him feel a strange, crushing pressure. This is the sacred flame? Xiao Yan was momentarily stunned. He lowered his head, following the protective flames, and was met with a scene that left him dumbfounded. A massive, pure white flower, towering to a height of tens of thousands of feet, sprawled across the entire region of the Floral God Palace. At the center of the flower's core, a graceful and elegant figure was seated quietly. Beside her, there was even a small girl, no older than 10, sitting quietly, waiting. The little girl had an innocent, delicate appearance, but radiated a certain spiritual aura that made her endearing at first sight. Yun? The seventh sacred flame, 10,000 flower flame core? Xiao Yan's eyes constricted, and he exclaimed in surprise. Even though he had fused many sacred flames, facing one as high-ranking as the seventh sacred flame still imposed a powerful, almost unexplainable pressure on him. The suppression between sacred flames was immense. Hee. Just as Xiao Yan wondered why Yun possessed such terrifying sacred flame power, the 10-year-old girl who had been seated beside Yun suddenly opened her eyes in an eerie manner, and her body mysteriously disappeared from her spot. Big brother, I'm hungry. Can you give me something to eat? In the blink of an eye, the harmless little girl appeared next to Xiao Yan, extending her soft, pale hand toward the glass-like flames surrounding him. She smiled sweetly and spoke. The little girl was incredibly cute, but at this moment, she showed no manners. She reached directly for the sacred flames around Xiao Yan, her eyes gleaming with immense excitement. Xiao Yan said nothing. Instead, he activated the burning technique, and the 5 sacred flames erupted, sending an unprecedented sense of danger sweeping through the air. The sensation was as though the 5 sacred flames within Xiao Yan's body had felt an enormous threat, as though they were being treated as food by this little girl. Xiao Yan remained silent, his face darkening. Slowly, he began to move his hand, releasing an intense and terrifying fire fluctuation. No matter what, he could not allow the sacred flames within him to be devoured by this little creature. Hualing, stop causing trouble. Come back. Just as the atmosphere grew tense, a gentle voice rang out, accompanied by a pure white flame flower platform that immediately enveloped the little girl. Master! Caught by the flower platform, the little girl pouted, her face full of displeasure as she quickly adopted a coquettish demeanor, calling out to Yun. He is my friend. Yun's face was stern as she scolded, but flowers seemed to swirl around her, giving her an ethereal and sacred presence. Oh, all right. Hearing Yun's words, the little girl relented, quietly following her, though Xiao Yan could tell that she was still eyeing the flames around him with great desire. Xiao Yan was speechless, but after some thought, he realized that this little girl must be the spirit of the sacred flame. While she might not have a clear rank or level of power, her combat ability was undoubtedly formidable. What truly baffled Xiao Yan, however, was why the higher rank the sacred flame, the stranger the spirits seemed to become. This is the 7th sacred flame, and it was left to me by my teacher. She is the spirit of the sacred flame, but with the teacher's help, she no longer has any direct connection to the sacred flame. She's merely a spiritual body with sacred flame power. However, even the teacher doesn't know her true identity, because Her Eminence Xun'er once left a warning that this little girl is a flower spirit left behind by the floral god in the human realm. It seems to be tied to some ancient event, but unfortunately, neither the teacher nor she herself knows the full details. It's as though, over the passage of time, memories have been lost. Noticing Xiao Yan's confusion, Yun hurried over to explain. I see. Xiao Yan nodded in understanding. Things in the Floral God Palace are now settled. Once the affairs inside are wrapped up, your fellow disciples will remain here to guard the place. Yuru quietly stepped out from the side, her voice gentle as she spoke. Clearly, she had just returned after taking care of matters within the Floral God Palace. Thank you. Although Yun and Yuru had always been on good terms in the Immortal realm, her words of gratitude were heartfelt. There's one thing I'm still unsure about. Once everything's settled here, Xiao Yan furrowed his brows and asked, It seems that Xun'er, little E, and the others have been gone for quite a while. I don't know. Yuru shook her head. Xun'er, she's here too? Upon hearing this, Yun's body trembled slightly, and she bit her lip. She came with me to attend the Alchemy Pill Conference. Don't worry. Xiao Yan shook his head helplessly, then reached out and pulled Yun closer. Humph! Noticing Xiao Yan's slight ill intentions, the flower spirit snorted coldly and immediately separated the two with a burst of force. Xiao Yan frowned and shot a sideways glance at the flower spirit. The flower spirit, like a playful little one, stuck out her tongue and made a face at Xiao Yan. Well, since everything's been cleared up, let's go. Jade Pool Wonderland. As soon as the words were spoken, Xiao Yan, Yuru, and Yun were enveloped in brilliant light, heading straight for Jade Pool Wonderland. Boom! The group of four moved at incredible speed, and in just a brief moment, they arrived within the Jade Pool Wonderland. When they arrived, waves of eerie light and white mist filled the air. Even the ground seemed to tremble, with blood stains and battle marks clearly visible in the void. Jade Pool Wonderland. It's probably fallen as well. The three of them looked at the battered landscape of Jade Pool Wonderland, their expressions complex, while the flower spirit, on the other hand, strolled about leisurely, unaffected by the surrounding evil forces, which seemed unable to harm her in the slightest. Boom! Just as the group hesitated, the sky above Jade Pool Wonderland suddenly darkened, and vast swarms of evil energy, like a swarm of ants, continuously poured through the sky's rifts, charging towards the main palace with a ferocious roar. At this rate, Jade Pool Wonderland might be the most heavily attacked place among the three major forces. Let's go to the main palace. Xiao Yan roared, then the four of them became a streak of light, darting towards the main palace with the speed of a shooting star. Vroom vroom. Once a place admired by countless powerful beings, Jade Pool Wonderland now appeared utterly ruined, and the entire residence was under constant attack by the forces of the extraterritorial evil clan. It wouldn't be long before the entire palace would fall. By then, Jade Pool Wonderland might become one of the evil clan's demon dens. Mother, the last Eastern Palace, has fallen as well. The extraterritorial forces are relentless. The great array outside the main palace can't hold them off. In at most one incense stick's time, the sacred grand array will be shattered. By then, there will be no way out. Please, Mother, and the Jade Pool Fairy, retreat to the center of the Immortal realm. Summon Lord Heavenly Emperor to save the entire Immortal realm. Inside the main palace, the Jade Pool Holy Mother sat pale on her 100-foot crystal throne, the Jade Pool Fairy standing beside her. Both their faces and auras were weary, clearly having gone through multiple battles. At the base of the throne, the elite soldiers of Jade Pool Wonderland spoke in unison, their bodies marked with bloody, crimson wounds, shocking to behold. These were the results of their bloody battles with the extraterritorial evil clan. If not for these warriors, Jade Pool Wonderland would have long since fallen. The passageways to the Immortal realm and the other 6 realms have all been blocked, and the Immortal realm mostly remains isolated, with little connection to the other realms. They probably want to wipe us out first. After all, our Immortal realm, and especially the Immortal realm center, hold little weight in the great thousand worlds. The Jade Pool Holy Mother's eyes filled with deep reluctance and anger, but there was nothing she could do now. Her strength was immense, yet surprisingly, despite the extraterritorial evil clan's forces failing to threaten her, they seemed to possess numerous evil weapons capable of resisting her, which had restricted Jade Pool Wonderland's defense, leading to a slow retreat. Heh, Jade Pool Holy Mother, the dark curse granted by Lord Evil God was not for show. Come out and die. As the conversation continued on how to break the situation, the main palace flickered with countless ancient, heavenly water formations on its perimeter, when suddenly, dark, oppressive magic energy erupted. The magic was filled with concentrated evil power, surging into the air. We may be too late. Looking at the dark red glow emanating from the dark curse wielded by a figure within the demonic sea, the Jade Pool Holy Mother's already pale face grew even grimmer. The weapon of the dark demon, with its overwhelming evil power, combined with the Red King's stage and countless evil creatures, was likely enough to... I wonder how the Flower God Palace and the Moon God Palace are faring. I'll hold them off for now. You all act according to the situation. If things go south, head straight for the center of the immortal realm. Here's the key. The heavenly pool of Jade Pool stepped forward from her throne, secretly passing something subtly to the Jade Pool fairy. She then slowly walked toward the ancient formation at the main hall's grand door, her expression filled with the unwavering resolve of one who views death as nothing. Bang! 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 Outside the main hall, in the boundless demonic sea, a dark red palm quietly reached out. As the palm emerged, an overwhelming aura of death surged forward, violently shaking the heavenly water ancient formation outside the hall, making it hum and tremble. The terrifying force of destruction and corrosion caused the entire void of the Jade Pool wonderland to shudder. The heavens and earth cracked, the ground shook and collapsed, as if the world itself was coming to an end. Faced with this Red King stage, which wielded the dark, demonic evil weapon, the heavenly pool of Jade Pool took a step forward, her beautiful eyes holding a calm, serene expression. She slowly gazed at the demonic sea, seemingly locking onto the position of the Red King stage. I am the withered bone corpse demon, here on the orders of the Lord of the Dark Demon Evil God to eradicate the Jade Pool wonderland. If you're wise, hand over the key, and I will spare the entire Jade Pool wonderland. Swoosh, swoosh. Within the demonic sea, countless evil creatures knelt in silence. Soon, a withered old man, his face a dull yellow, slowly stepped out of the sea, holding a dark red talisman. The overwhelming destructive demonic aura reverberated violently against the heavenly water ancient formation. Master! Mother! Seeing the sticky, eerie demonic energy gathering and roaring toward them, the people within the main hall looked on in shock. Under the terrifying assault of the withered bone corpse demon, it seemed the entire heavenly water ancient formation was about to collapse, with cracks beginning to form at any moment. Jade Pool, Heavenly King Palm. However, just at that moment, the usually calm heavenly pool of Jade Pool suddenly raised her sleeve. Looking toward the distant Red King stage, she clenched her palm. Countless profound and complex energies converged before she fiercely swung it forward. Whoosh! Numerous shards of glass-like light gathered in her palm, forming a massive hand that spanned the entire Jade Pool wonderland. The hand was imbued with an ancient, sacred aura. Humph! Seeing the heavenly pool of Jade Pool's relentless persistence, the withered bone corpse demon sneered, extending his shriveled finger full of bone cracks. He pointed fiercely downward at the main hall, and behind him, countless strands of demonic energy gathered to instantly transform into a bone dragon, covered in a sinister, eerie corpse aura. The bone dragon was massive, devoid of any flesh. Its white bones were covered with terrifying power exclusive to dark demons, while within its skull, endless demonic and corpse energy surged, emanating an overwhelming pressure. SSSSS. The bone dragon howled to the heavens, releasing a shrill screech that seemed to pollute the soul itself. The roar sent shockwaves through everyone, causing their heads to bleed, their bodies shaking uncontrollably. It rose to the sky like an all-encompassing shadow, lashing out at the formation with ferocity. Boom! The eerie bone dragon and the ancient hand collided lightly, causing the entire heavenly water ancient formation to shatter completely. Waves of destructive power, enough to shake one's soul, spread out in all directions. Crack! Moments after the attack, the heavenly pool of Jade Pool's pale face twitched, a mouthful of fresh red blood slowly spilling from the corner of her lips. The power of the Red King stage, infused with the dark demon curse, was far beyond what she could handle. Ha ha ha. Heavenly Pool of Jade Pool, you've lost. As a price, everyone in the Jade Pool Wonderland will be buried with you. Blood scattered in the air, and the withered bone corpse demon's lips curled into a mocking grin. He then raised the dark red talisman, exuding waves of dark demonic energy so sinister that it threatened to easily overwhelm their minds, spreading in ripples that struck their souls. Attack! Protect the mother. Protect the Jade Pool Wonderland. Even in the face of imminent doom, the many powerful warriors of the Jade Pool Wonderland did not retreat. Layers of white light enveloped them, blooming like fireflies, shining their final radiance. Vrum! Vrum! Thunder and fire clashed, and a massive figure suddenly emerged from the void, leaping ahead. With a casual sweep of its hand, it devoured the evil energy in an instant. The withered bone corpse demon's face paled slightly as he gazed at the mysterious figure, which crackled with thunder and fire. The dark demon curse's power came from the evil god himself, and even the withered bone corpse demon dared not easily devour it. Who was this person who could consume such power effortlessly? Cough, cough. Protected by the Thunderfire King of Hell, Xiao Yan appeared to be calm, but the power within his body was surging wildly. The evil energy released by the dark demon curse was too powerful, even with the protection of sacred flame, and secretly using the demon cube to devour it. The backlash from the absorption surged violently, making Xiao Yan feel overwhelmed. The power of the half-demonic god and the evil weapon was indeed too much to handle. Xiao Yan. The people in Jade Pool Wonderland looked at Xiao Yan with confusion on their faces. This guy's strength was not particularly impressive, so why was he able to deal with the dark demon curse, a force that even the heavenly pool of Jade Pool had no means to counter? Another person who was startled was the withered bone corpse demon. He stood motionless in the demonic sea, his eyes fixed tightly on Xiao Yan. With his perception, it wasn't hard to notice something subtle inside Xiao Yan's body. Otherwise, such an astonishing fluctuation could have taken down most powerful beings. Extraterritorial Evil Clan, Red King Stage, Quasi-Fifth Reincarnation Stage. Xiao Yan smiled faintly, adopting an extremely carefree demeanor. Then, step by step, he walked toward the heavenly pool of Jade Pool and the others behind him. This guy, he's probably trying to feign mystery, one of them murmured. My lord, we should launch a full-scale attack. At this point, there's still no word from the Floral God Palace or the Moon God Palace. If we break through Jade Pool Wonderland and obtain the key, we will surely earn the favor of the two evil gods. Once that happens, the power within us will stabilize, and our strength will be permanently set at this level. Behind them, from the demonic sea, the greedy, heated sounds of evil emanated. Clearly, their aura fluctuated subtly. Though powerful, there was an air of rushing things too much, as if they were forcing growth prematurely. The withered bone corpse demon did not speak, but his gaze remained locked on Xiao Yan, seemingly deep in thought. Boom, boom, boom. 6 different colored sacred flames slowly erupted from Xiao Yan, who was infused with the power of Thunderfire King of Hell. The flames began to curl and gather before his chest, forming an ancient, sacred flame fluctuation. Yes, it was not 5 flames, but 6. One of them was temporarily granted to Xiao Yan by Yun. Now, Yuru and the others were secretly hidden in the void of Jade Pool Wonderland, prepared to act if Xiao Yan's plan were to fail. But the withered bone corpse demon's strength was suffocatingly overwhelming. With the dark demon curse in his grasp, even if they all joined forces, they would still be in grave danger. This was why Xiao Yan had put on such a show. Would the power of the sacred flames be enough to shake this guy back? Enough with the talk, attack. I've been wanting to see the true strength of a Red King stage expert from the extraterritorial Evil Clan, to know what sets them apart. Xiao Yan smiled lightly, and the 6 colored flames slowly rose. The terrifying purifying force began to faintly purify the evil aura, causing the void to hum and tremble, as if with just a flick of his hand, this entire world would collapse. The withered bone corpse demon's strength seemed unstable, likely due to the dark demon curse employing some special method to hasten his growth. But even so, he was still a quasi-fifth reincarnation stage expert. If a battle broke out, unless Xiao Yan used the god-slaying ruler or tapped into demonic power, there would be no chance of victory. But Xiao Yan knew, to some extent, that even within the Red King stage, there were varying levels of strength. This particular one was likely at the peak of the Red King stage, comparable to a human's fourth reincarnation stage or quasi-fifth stage. As for those truly above the fifth reincarnation stage, they were likely the so-called half-demonic gods or evil gods. My lord! Countless evil voices surged, seemingly urging the withered bone corpse demon to launch an attack. With their current strength, destroying Jade Pool Wonderland was only a matter of time. Why all this mystery? After a long pause, the withered bone corpse demon shook his head, his eyes glowing with black light, staring at Xiao Yan. You can try. Even if I need to guard the entire Jade Pool Wonderland, killing you would be as easy as crushing an ant. Xiao Yan lazily spoke, his eyes showing little interest, as though he was casually mentioning something trivial. This kind of dismissive provocation appeared in the eyes of countless evil creatures from the demonic sea as a sign of arrogance. But in the ears of the withered bone corpse demon, it had an entirely different flavor. Xiao Yan's strength may have been weak, but how could he have taken that terrifying attack so easily? My lord, now is the time to strike. Feeling the provocative words from Xiao Yan, countless hidden evil spirits within the demonic sea roared, their evil power surging, subtly showing signs of breaking through the heavens. Silence! Retreat! After a brief hesitation, the withered bone corpse demon waved his hand fiercely. His body slowly began to sink into the demonic sea, seemingly preparing to leave. As a top-tier expert in the Red King stage of the extraterritorial evil clan, the withered bone corpse demon clearly understood the terrifying nature of Xiao Yan. He had personally seen many king stage experts fall to his hands, whether they were black kings, white kings, or red kings, large or small, almost enough to fill two hands. With Xiao Yan's unpredictable nature, the fusion of sacred flames and Do techniques, and the lack of certainty of victory, the withered bone corpse demon chose not to act. Caution was one of the key reasons he had reached the peak of the Red King stage, but due to his cautious nature, he would also lose many opportunities. Wum, wum, wum. The energy hummed, and suddenly the entire army disappeared. The location there seemed to be the very heart of the immortal realm. Whoosh whoosh. With the crisis averted, the many powerful beings in Jade Pool Wonderland collapsed to the ground, their minds buzzing in a daze. They gazed up at Xiao Yan, surrounded by six-colored flames in the sky, a rare look of shock and respect appearing on their faces. Had Xiao Yan not arrived in time and repelled the evil army, the entire Jade Pool Wonderland would have been in grave danger. Xiao Yan, thank you. At this moment, Jade Pool Fairy and the others couldn't help but softly speak from the heart. Senior, are you all right? Yu and Yun emerged from the void, approaching Jade Pool Saintess, and asked with concern. I'm fine. Jade Pool Saintess glanced at Xiao Yan with an appreciative expression. Xiao Yan quietly stood in the void, seemingly on guard against a sudden attack from the extraterritorial evil clan's army. He smiled and nodded at the Jade Pool Saintess and the others, though his arm and body trembled, and cold sweat dripped steadily. The withered bone corpse demon, with the strength of the quasi-fifth reincarnation stage, truly lived up to its name. Thankfully, the crisis had now passed. Jade Pool Wonderland began to tidy up the aftermath, while the core group, including Jade Pool Saintess, gathered together. Yu and Yun were diligently working to expel the remnants of the evil force's corruption. Meanwhile, across the upper three heavens of the immortal realm, the heavens began to darken. A towering abyss, as if torn open by a demon, appeared in the sky. From the abyss, countless evil monsters howled as they surged toward a certain core point. Witnessing this, the people of Jade Pool Wonderland, who had been calm before, felt a sinking feeling in their hearts and murmured, "Their target, could it be? The Immortal Realm's center?" Boom! Within the abyss, a faint glow of demonic energy flickered. When this energy moved, it sent waves of evil power into the surrounding void. Though seemingly insignificant, even Jade Pool Saintess couldn't help but narrow her eyes slightly. So their goal is the Immortal Realm's center? Jade Pool Saintess sat on the ground, her beautiful eyes fixed on the evil energy gathering toward the core of the Immortal Realm, her heart inexplicably trembling. The center of the Immortal Realm was the strongest place in all of Immortal Realm. Even though it housed only a few individuals, those who stood within it were the true elite of the realm. Aside from Jade Pool Saintess, the Moon God Palace Master, and Xun'er, who left to form their own factions, the center of the Immortal Realm represented the true pinnacle. As for the entrance's peak, it was where the three heavens and realms converged, the rift of the celestial realm, the entrance to the Immortal Realm's center. This was the same place where Xiao Yan had been driven back by a mysterious force and cursed with dark magic, the site of 10 ominous coffins. At this moment, the rift of the celestial realm, the entrance to the Immortal Realm's center, was being engulfed by the abyss, sending terrifying ripples down from the heavens, shaking the remaining survivors of the upper three heavens. These monsters couldn't even defeat our three major forces, so why are they targeting the Immortal Realm's center? Have they gone mad? Jade Pool Fairy's face showed shock. She had once accompanied Jade Pool Saintess to the Immortal Realm's center and knew exactly how terrifying that place was. Even a supreme being of the 6th reincarnation stage would likely not return if they entered. For the center of the Immortal Realm was the heart of the entire realm, the domain that governed and controlled countless regions. And within it resided the Realm Lord, the Heavenly Emperor. His power had already reached an unparalleled level of brilliance. The Floral God Palace and the Moon God Palace have already fallen. The two seniors have passed away. Looking at the current scene, Xiao Yan sighed deeply from a distance. Plop. Upon hearing Xiao Yan's words, Jade Pool Saintess, drained of strength, spat out a mouthful of blood. "Saintess, my condolences." Yu and Yun spoke in unison, confirming that Xiao Yan's words were not fabrications. Sigh. Jade Pool Saintess' eyes revealed a deep sense of relief. After a long pause, she spoke. "Two half-demonic gods, along with several terrifying Red King stage experts, are enough to truly threaten the Immortal Realm. They may actually have the means. This is a disaster for the Immortal Realm's center." The dark curse within Xiao Yan's body seemed to have disappeared with the battle, and now, he floated toward the group, his expression equally grim. Two half-demonic gods? Upon hearing Xiao Yan speak, Jade Pool Saintess' face grew even more shocked and complicated. The deaths of the two powerful beings from the upper three heavens had already weakened the center of the Immortal Realm, and now the strength of the extraterritorial evil clan had grown exponentially, causing Jade Pool Saintess to grow even more worried. "Senior, is there a problem?" Yun, always observant, noticed Jade Pool Saintess' concerns through her subtle movements. During the First War of the Heavens, countless powerful beings from the extraterritorial evil clan emerged. Over time, new, exceptionally talented individuals may have been born from the extraterritorial realms. The Heavenly Mother of the Jade Pool shook her head, though her hatred for the extraterritorial evil clan remained as strong as ever. "Dare I ask, Senior, how many peak-level powerhouses exist within the extraterritorial realms?" It seemed as though Xiao Yan had realized something, and he pressed on with his question. "During the First Great War of the Heavens and Earth, how many powerful beings from the extraterritorial evil clan were revealed to the Great Thousand Worlds? 7 evil god stages in total, 19 Red King stages, and countless Black King and White King stages, with approximately 100 in total. In addition, there is one leader from the extraterritorial realms." The Heavenly Mother of the Jade Pool focused, trying to recall the details. 7 evil gods? One leader from the extraterritorial realms? These words caused the entire room to gasp in shock. The leader of the extraterritorial realms had already reached the peak of this world's power. However, It seemed as though it feared certain forces within the Great Thousand Worlds. In the end, it was forcibly driven out by a group of powerful beings, including the Saint King, during the First Great War of the Heavens and Earth. That was how we narrowly won. Except for the Saint King and those other peak experts, no one has seen the true face or power of the extraterritorial leader. As for the 7 evil gods, they are notorious for their malevolence. Some of them returned heavily wounded to the extraterritorial realms, while others were suppressed within the Great Thousand Worlds. However, after all these years of recovery, I'm afraid their return is imminent. The Great Thousand Worlds is brimming with talent, but the extraterritorial realms are no less so. We don't know how much stronger their true power will be this time. The Heavenly Mother of the Jade Pool spoke, her voice full of concern. Let them come. We'll deal with them. Senior need not worry. Hearing such heavy words, Xiao Yan stepped forward confidently, his resolve and righteousness unmistakable. You 4, head to the center of the immortal realm. With the 3 keys, the various inheritances, and the power of the sacred flame, it should be of some help. The upper 3 heavens are in turmoil right now, and I need to reorganize these forces. We must expel the extraterritorial evil clan together. This time, in the war of the immortal realm, we will use our own strength to protect our homeland. With Xiao Yan's stirring words, the Heavenly Mother of the Jade Pool spoke in a firm and righteous manner. Go! The group nodded, realizing that the only option now was to split up and take action. Let's hope we can survive this calamity. Xun'er, you have long predicted that the immortal realm would be completely destroyed in a future catastrophe. Let's hope that this time, the powerful beings at the center of the immortal realm will protect this world. After all, it is the domain we have all cared for countless years. Her voice resonated as countless survivors from the Jade Pool Wonderland, under the Heavenly Mother's command, set off towards the upper 3 heavens, carrying orders and preparing to confront the extraterritorial evil clan. The army of the extraterritorial evil clan was vast, and without uniting the entire immortal realm's strength, they would be hard-pressed to contend with it. Virum. The 4 of them were enveloped by subtle energy fluctuations. Guided by the Heavenly Mother of the Jade Pool, they quietly crossed through the world, bypassing the terrifying abyss and the monstrous creatures blocking their path, and entered the rift to the celestial realm, heading towards the center of the immortal realm. Glurk, the entrance is protected by an evil formation. If we enter recklessly, we will definitely alert the extraterritorial evil clan's experts. All the evil creatures in the immortal realm are heading towards the center of the immortal realm. If we're discovered, the consequences would be unimaginable, facing such a large number of extraterritorial creatures. As they arrived at the entrance, facing the faint light leading to the center of the immortal realm, Xiao Yan's voice was exceptionally grave. The 4 of them hid within the dark clouds of the abyss, observing the 10 eerie coffins that surrounded the entrance. They couldn't help but feel a surge of tension. These 10 coffins formed a blood-red flag of evil, standing upright at the rift to the celestial realm and the entrance to the immortal realm. Blood-red ripples radiated from them, causing a chilling sensation that made everyone's heart tremble. With such tight defenses, entering would certainly not be an easy task. I have a plan. Yao Ling, the Jade Pool Fairy, frowned slightly and said softly. As the only disciple who had accompanied the Heavenly Mother of the Jade Pool into the center of the immortal realm from the upper 3 heavens, Yao Ling slowly raised her hand. To everyone's surprise, she began forming a mysterious hand seal that seemed to carry deep, unfathomable power. As soon as the seal appeared, a powerful energy, as if coming from the sacred pool of the Jade Pool, enveloped the bodies of the 4 and slowly advanced towards the entrance. This power. Xiao Yan and the others exchanged glances, recognizing that the power enveloping them was far from ordinary. This was the mysterious energy from the Jade Pool. Let's go. Yao Ling silently led the 4 of them, swiftly moving towards the entrance. Strange. Why does there seem to be some odd lingering aura here? Is it an illusion? Stay alert. Now is the crucial moment when the 2 lords are about to strike down the powerful beings at the center of the immortal realm. We must not allow any experts to enter the immortal realm center. In the bottomless abyss, eerie and ominous sounds echoed endlessly, suffocating anyone who heard them. Clearly, too many evil creatures had gathered here. Charging in recklessly would almost certainly lead to disaster. Boom, boom, boom. With Yao Ling's help, the four of them effortlessly surged into the glowing entrance. They felt a mix of light and shadow swirling around them, and then, in the blink of an eye, they found themselves in an incredibly dark and mysterious immortal realm. Gurgle. So this is the so-called center of the immortal realm? Xiao Yan looked up, but he saw nothing. In the dim void, faint gusts of cold wind blew. All they could see was a massive silver gate stretching across the sky, blocking their path. The gate was almost transparent, its basic frame the only clear feature, but the ancient, overwhelming force within made all four of them tense and serious. Strange black flames flickered around the edges of the gate. Evil black flames. Were they identical to the ones from the Netherwind? But the flames here were far more powerful and concentrated than the ones on Netherwind's body. Let us handle this, Yun and Yuru smiled sweetly just as Xiao Yan and Yao Ling were about to make their move. Your powers? Yao Ling couldn't help but ask as she looked at the radiant glow surrounding the two palace masters. She had known that the two had sacrificed all their cultivation for them, but seeing the power rising within them, she couldn't help but feel a bit envious. They were already at the third reincarnation stage, and their strength was still growing with time. Even though their combat experience was lacking and their fighting power rather weak, with such overwhelming power, it was likely that victory would come with ease. Okay, leave it to us. After Xiao Yan spoke, he sat down cross-legged, focusing on adjusting the forces within his body. Before them was merely the gate of the celestial realm, a boundary used to block the entrance to the immortal realm and its center. Once the gate of the celestial realm was broken, they would face the heart of the immortal realm itself. The worst-case scenario was likely to be an army of the extraterritorial evil clan led by two half-demonic gods. The gate of the celestial realm has been reversed, so this will be our first trial in entering the immortal realm center. The gate of the celestial realm is a profound artifact. It is one of the immortal realm's divine artifacts, ranked 8th. It is designed to disrupt and block the progress of enemies. If one becomes lost within it, they may be trapped here forever. Although Yao Ling's strength wasn't great, no one else among them knew more about the immortal realm than she did. All right. Yuru and Yun raised their delicate hands, their bodies leaping gracefully as they entered the gate of the celestial realm. Although the gate of the celestial realm was ancient and powerful, before the two of them, it was bound to fail soon, opening the true center of the immortal realm for all four of them. Xiao Yan. As the two women vanished, Yao Ling bit her silver teeth and walked solemnly toward Xiao Yan, her face unusually serious. She seemed hesitant about something. Is something wrong? Xiao Yan lowered his voice, sensing she had something important to say. You must listen carefully to every word I say next. Exhaling deeply, Yao Ling patted her chest, as though she had made an important decision. Xiao Yan didn't respond but narrowed his eyes, sensing something unusual in her tone. You possess many sacred flames, don't you? Yes. You are a descendant of the Xiao clan? Yes. The brief exchange caused Yao Ling's face to turn pale suddenly, as though she had heard something that terrified her. Xiao Yan, do you know why the center of the immortal realm is often referred to as the celestial realm center by many powerful beings in the Great Thousand Worlds? Yao Ling's four divine senses seemed unsettled as she looked at Xiao Yan with unease. Does it have to do with the gate of the celestial realm? The gate of the celestial realm's defenses are extremely mysterious. Even if I were to personally act, it would take a considerable amount of time to break through. I think it has something to do with this. Xiao Yan, having adjusted his breath, stood up. No, you're mistaken. It has nothing to do with the gate of the celestial realm. It has to do with the Lord of the celestial realm. When Yao Ling mentioned the so-called Lord of the celestial realm, her body suddenly staggered backward, clearly filled with deep dread and fear. The Heavenly Emperor? A faint, bloody aura spread across Xiao Yan's eyes as he spoke with an indifferent tone. The Heavenly Emperor's power is terrifying. He is known by many titles, including the Lord of the Celestial Realm, the Lord of the Immortal Realm. Most importantly, it seems he has a grudge against the Xiao clan. Crack! Yao Ling's words hit Xiao Yan's heart like a thunderbolt, filling him with shock and disbelief. I don't know what misunderstanding exists between you, but while the Heavenly Emperor constantly warns us to be cautious of the center of the human realm, he has secretly entered the human realm's center more than once. Their relationship is still a mystery. After speaking, Yao Ling couldn't help but rub her forehead, as the scene in front of them seemed to become even more perplexing. Based on what the Heavenly Pool Mother and Yao Ling had mentioned, the Heavenly Emperor, as the Lord of the Immortal Realm, harbored ambitions beyond just this territory. The Heavenly Emperor secretly concealed his actions from the strongest beings in the heart of the Immortal Realm. He alone ventured into the heart of the human realm, and it seemed that the timing coincided perfectly with the period of chaos in the four continents of the Do-Di, which had been controlled by Xiao Yan's endless fire domain. It is feared that during that time, and even afterward, the decision-making in the heart of the human realm became unclear, whether it was the Heavenly Emperor exercising his power or someone else. After countless covert investigations, the Heavenly Pool of Jade Pool discovered that the Realm Lord of the human realm appeared to have vanished for a period, and during that time, the Heavenly Emperor had stepped in to replace him in the center of the human realm. These are all things the Heavenly Pool of Jade Pool learned through powerful means in secret. Likely, she is the only one in the entire immortal realm who knows the truth. But now, even the people at the heart of the immortal realm remain unaware of the true intentions of the Heavenly Emperor. What is his relationship with the Realm Lord of the human realm? What are his ambitions? What grudges does he have with the Xiao clan?